Your pet calls today with Veterinarian Carrie Donahue from Circle Holistic Veterinary Care, and you got lots of calls here, so let's get to it. We're going to start with Mark in Beloit. Hi, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. What's
Hey,
your question?
I want to know about heartworm. Can you touch bases on heartworm and why are we testing for heartworm?
Well, heartworm disease is something that is transmitted by mosquitoes, and it is a low risk here in Wisconsin, but it is definitely a risk to dogs that might be outside. So that's why we recommend monthly heartworm preventative, just to protect animals from getting heartworm disease, which is transmitted by mosquitoes.
Are there shots, or do you just give them the little pills?
It is the little pill. So it is a little chewable tablet that you give once a month, and some veterinarians recommend doing it during mosquito season, so starting in the spring and then ending up in the fall or after we get a good frost. But now the recommendations are even moving towards doing it all year round because, you know, with the temperatures rising, we just never know when mosquitoes are completely gone. So oftentimes we recommend giving the heartworm preventative once a month year round.
And it's fatal, right?
It can be fatal, right.
All right, let's go to Deborah in DeForest. Hi, Deborah. What's your question?
Hi, Dr. Carrie. This is Deborah, and you helped me with two dogs that I adopted, Teddy and Franklin. One was 11, one was 14 when I got them, and you were just great. And here's my question. I heard that the state of Wisconsin is thinking of asking us to stop importing dogs from other states because they're afraid of various diseases. And I'm just wondering, aren't they overreacting here that we can treat these dogs and make them adoptable?
Yes, this is a pretty, hot topic right now. So the regulations that might be coming out will require animals coming into Wisconsin to be tested for and proven negative for brucellosis, which is a reproductive disease, and heartworm disease, which we were just talking about. So if those regulations go through, that means it will be harder for animals to come from other places to Wisconsin to get adopted here. So it's something that's going to have to play out, and we'll have to see what happens, but there will be additional testing, which again will make it harder for adoptable animals.
We'll have to follow that.
It's not a done deal yet.
It is not a done deal.
All right. Let's go to Lori in Janesville. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you all?
Great.
Great. Thanks for calling.
My question is, I actually have two questions. I have a cat that's probably about 10 years old, and he pretty much lives at his dish, meaning he sits by his dish no matter how many times we feed him a day. He's always crying and wanting us to feed him.
Sounds like my cat. I have the same problem, Lori.
And your second question?
And my second question is, I have a dachshund. He's going to be 14 years old, and he's always had that, what do they call it, inside-out sneeze?
Reverse sneezing.
Yeah, but he's doing something different now that's similar to that, and it sounds like he's having a hard time breathing, and I don't think it's that same thing. I think it's something different.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, thinking about your cat that has kind of like the overactive appetite, one thing that I would recommend, and this is something that is common in older cats, hyperthyroidism is something that I see, and what hyperthyroidism does is it's an overactive thyroid gland, and when the thyroid gland is overactive, then the metabolism becomes higher. So cats have more energy, but they also want to eat all the time. Despite not particularly gaining weight, they're always active, and they can start to vocalize a bit more too. So my recommendation would be go to your veterinarian and have some blood work done just to be able to say, yes, hyperthyroidism is happening and we can treat that, or to see if there is anything else that might be going on.
All right, how about the dachshund?
And the dog with the breathing. I often think that when they do this reverse sneezing, that it can result from allergies.
Now, what is that exactly, reverse sneezing?
Reverse sneezing in dogs is where they're actually when we sneeze and we're sneezing outward, they're actually breathing in, and so it's kind of like a reverse of what a human sneeze would be. It can happen in dogs that have allergies where there is inflammation in the respiratory tract. So I think kind of as the dog is getting older, there might be more inflammation, and so that might be something that I would think about doing, is maybe talking to your veterinarian about supplements that you could do to really help with that inflammation.
Okay.
All right. We have time for one more call. Terry from Mineral Point. Hi, Terry.
Hey, I have a question for the doctor. We have a 10-year-old yellow lab. My wife got test strips, and she tested positive for diabetes, and she drinks water constantly. We try to limit how much she takes in because she will drink until she throws it up. My question is, what is she feeling when she lays and whines? I want to, I'd like to know more of what I can do for her. We are going to treat the diabetes when our veterinarian here in Middle Point can get us insulin shots, I guess is what it will be.
Right.
But my concern is when she lays and whines, what she might be feeling.
If only they could talk to us.
I know, right? That would make everything so much easier. So I guess my top recommendation to you would be go into your veterinarian, like you said you were going to do, and get your dog started on insulin, and that might make everything better. I think when they are suffering from diabetes and the water bounces off, they're always thirsty, they're often always hungry, they might be urinating a lot. So we don't really know if there is a pain component, but certainly it could be very uncomfortable. And, getting your dog started on the insulin will help to regulate the blood sugar and might make them feel a lot better.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone for calling in. Thank you for your time. We'll do
Thank
this once a
you.
month or so. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Looking
Thank
forward to
you.
it. Carrie, welcome aboard.
Thank you so
And
much.
thanks for your calls, everybody.
We'll head to